Good afternoon, everyone. 10 to 3 here in the UK on the 27th of May 2020. We've had a couple of really good days on the stock markets on both sides of the pond. And that's continued today. I'm looking at VectorVest USA just after the American Open. And as you can see, the advance is well ahead of the declines. VectorVest advocates buying safe undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time. But folks, there are worries starting to come up, and on the next chart I've loaded the VectorVest Composite of the USA, and let's look 6-month view. This is an equally weighted index of all of the shares that we follow in North America. Down below it is the MTI, VectorVest proprietary momentum indicator, the momentum of the VectorVest Composite. And down below that we have the proprietary buy-sell ratio, the number of shares on a buy divided by the number of shares on a sell, an exceptionally important metric. First of all, we have the composite moving up very strongly indeed. Now, the Elliott wave people are making a case that this is impulsive, in that we've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4 and 5. If that's the case, folks, then this could be the start of a new bull market. I'm not proposing to count waves, but that's what they're saying. If we, for those fib fans around, if we put a fib on this, we can see that the composite, which is the widest measure of the American market that I know, is sitting at a 61% retracement of the last range exactly. Very importantly, the MTI is sitting this afternoon on a level of 1.67. And certainly when it gets up to around the 1.65 plus, then we're moving into a mega overbought situation. It's not showing any divergence, and as you can see, the best reversal signals are where the price rises and the indicator falls. But at the moment the price is rising, the indicator is rising. Nevertheless, it's moving into an overbought area where the risk to reward gets skewed. You have to risk quite a lot to make very little. Also, as a negative, the buy-sell ratio has in fact moved up into a mega overbought situation as well at 4.49. It's changing as I record this. So the VectorVest research people tell me that anything above 4.25 is a mega overbought situation. And these markets tend to move from mega oversold, which was down here where the world was about to end, to mega overbought. So ladies and gentlemen, even if this is a new bull market, I think that there is a fairly strong probability that we can see a pullback in this. For the Elliott people listening, if this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, that's 1 of the new wave, and we would pull back to 2 of the new wave, and that could be a serious sell-off. For the moment there's no sign of that. The short-term trend on VectorVest is still up. The medium-term trend, which is the DEW, which is what I've been using for my positions since the 6th of April, the DEW is still strongly up. There's no signal there. But ladies and gentlemen, when we do get a signal that this trend is changing, and the market, the signal is preceded by a mega overbought situation in both the MTI and the buy-sell ratio, that tends to predict some fairly strong moves. So it's a time to be careful. I told everybody on our Monday afternoon webcast that even if this is a rally and a bear market, that rally could quite easily make our annual targets, and it certainly nearly made my annual targets. Why am I looking at the American market, not the UK market? Because it is my experience that if the US market falls, that will fall with it. That was certainly the case in this period here. So just be very careful at the moment, folks. I think that markets have moved a very long way, very quickly indeed. In the last couple of days, I think there's been an awful lot of fairly dumb money moving in right at the top of the swing, and that we need to be very careful that we don't give away any of the profits that we've more than we need to of the profits that we've made, and we don't actually enter the market where the risk to reward ratio is totally skewed against us. My positions, I got in with the DEW, and I think, folks, if you find a DEW signal, that needs to be taken very seriously indeed. The short-term trend, if I put it up here, nearly got it, the primary wave, and that's the primary wave, and as you can see, there was a few primary waves down here which really didn't come to much in this big market up, but as soon as you see some red on here from the primary wave, that'll be the first sign that this is turning. Remember, the short-term systems turn before the longer-term systems, in the same way that a rowing boat turns before the Queen Elizabeth turns, or aircraft carrier turns. So as you start to see red signals from the primary wave turning down, and certainly if you see the DEW turning down, and it's got quite a way to go before it would do that, then you need to be watching your stop losses very carefully on open positions. With any luck, we're going to see a nice pullback here. That pullback will probably come, and I know I do too much fibs, but to about 50 to 61% of this, and certainly if you see that the DEW turning around, those of you that are aggressive may actually get a short into that. So let's just be very careful in the next few days, folks. I hope this helped. Bye bye.